having stand up and like finding stand up and realizing like, oh my God, there is a thing that I wake up like I know what I want.
Yeah.
Every day I wake up and I know like what, like even if I don't actively take steps, even though most days I do, but like even if I'm not, like the point of this for me is stand up, and like knowing that and knowing like what a gift. Oh my God.
I think about that sometimes where it's like some people like don't even know what it is that they want.
And
like
to be figuring out is totally cool too. Like that's a great phase also, but I think that's a harder phase.
Yeah.
And like sometimes also knowing, it's like the thing I said to you about goals, like sometimes knowing what you want too much can also be limiting because you're frustrated when you don't get the things you want.
See, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So like that's the portion of this I really relate to.
I think you have to have an open mind, but a vague idea of what you want.
Yeah.
So you're open to like, oh, I didn't even think I was going to do this, but now like I never thought I would have a podcast, but like now I have a podcast.
Right. It's like be open to the journey. And
totally. And like also
you.
kind of be open to the destination too.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you might not realize, I always thought like you being someone who does like a solo show thing, like I always thought that would more be what I wanted, like comedy wise. And like now that I do comedy, I'm like, that's
you're like those fucking losers.
I'm like those fucking no. I'm like that's actually a very different skill.
Get in a theater.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
I like become anti-microbiglia. Just kidding. Go Hoyas. Like I like that to me though is I that's what I wanted to do. I'm like more than stand up, and now that
so were you like discovering that during this time? Like
I always had wanted back of my mind to do stand up. So after college I moved to Dublin for a year.
Yes.
And
and you painted this beautiful image where it was you were working at a bar.
Yes.
And you were like taking these glasses. Like,
yes. Oh yeah, I was carrying all my glasses on my arm.
Yeah, which is like very it's like
I was
gorgeous.
Such a little bar wench. Me
really?
And my red hair.
Bet.
Yeah.
I
Grace
bet.
Lobo. Callback. I'm a professional. Yeah, it was. I worked.
Did
in
everyone
theater.
just love you in the bar? Like I'm sure.
Oh my
they
God!
must
And people
have.
would say like it's so weird because like as an American like there's this thing Americans do, and it's like the White Lotus thing of where they go to Sicily and they're like, we're your cousins, and it's like Americans love to go to Ireland and be like, we're Irish, and Irish people are like, the fuck you are, like you're not Irish, like. But I got wise to that before I went over there, and I was like, you're American, like you look like this, but you're American, like. And so I went over and like I remember I was working the pub and an Irish guy really drunk was like, you're Irish though, right? And I was like, no, I'm American. He was like, oh sure, I know you're Irish. Do you know how I know? And I was like, how? And he was like, because you're so good looking. And I was like, okay. And now I have an Irish passport, so but it was awesome. I loved it there. I worked for theater and I loved it. I actually wrote a play while I lived there that ended up getting produced.
I didn't know this.
Oh yeah, my past as a playwright. Yeah.
Ooh.
So I thought I wanted to do that, honestly.
Yeah,
and I was like, I want to be a writer. I didn't know what kind. And then I wrote this play. I thought I wanted to perform like a Fleabag kind of one-woman show. And like
this is so romantic.
I
like
know.
You just graduated college, right?
Just graduated, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And I was just what a fun.
What made you want to move to Ireland? Is that something you always wanted to do?
I was supposed to move to LA with one of my friends to pursue stand-up, which is crazy because that was 2018 and I didn't do stand-up until 2022.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But then he got a job in New York that like fell through, and I was like, I've actually always wanted to live abroad. What better time to do this than when I'm 22, I don't have a job.
Oh,
like,
good for you to have like the foresight.
Someone, you know what, when I was in college, at the end of college, I got the advice from I was very lucky to get to talk to a film producer who had gone to my college, and he gave me the advice. He was like, the best thing you can do fresh out of college is like something off the beaten path. Like he was like, the most interesting people I work with, the most interesting people I hire are people who it's not people who are like an assistant at CAA. Like it's someone who like went and did something interesting.
Yeah, So
I was like, okay, bet. And then I moved to Ireland and
that's so cool.
Worked in the theater and like worked in a pub and had a great time. And then I thought I wanted to work in theater, moved back, and it was immediately COVID. And I was like, well, that.
Wow. So you moved back like September 2020 then or something around there?
I moved back January of 2020.
2020. Okay.
So I moved there like January of 2019. I lived there for a full year and I moved back.
Oh my God. So you moved back. Pandemic hits.
I was living at home, saving up to move to New York.
Okay.
And then pandemic hit. I wrote out actually had a very nice pandemic So I don't know how your pandemic was. I had a lovely pandemic. This
Lovely.
year. Not to be a bitch, but I crushed the pandemic.
You know what's funny? You're not the first guest to say that. We have a lot of people on here that are just like, I crushed the pandemic.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it again, but like
there's
if I had to give you like a travel recs for the pandemic, like, I could do an amazing guidebook.
So funny.
Yeah.
Just so many Starbucks drive-through runs. For
Really?
Me. So well, that was like the thing. It was me, my mom, and my younger brother. We would just go to Starbucks. And
Yeah.
we still do it now, and it's very nice because
That
Tay
is
comes
nice.
with us. It honestly is like a very nice thing to like think about. While,
Yeah.
You know, we thought the world was gonna end.
Yeah, I never remember that. No, one of my brothers and I wrote a musical. Like
yes.
yeah,
oh my God.
yeah.
I think I've seen this on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
the
so
first
cool.
reel I ever posted.
Yeah.
But I was like, after the pandemic moved to New York, and I enjoyed I traveled around like out west a lot. This childhood best friend and I, we lived out of her car for like 6 weeks and just drove around to like national parks. Like it was really, really fun and cool. And like then moved to New York, and I got like here, and I was like, oh, I'm working in my apartment like all day. I got a job. It's actually the job I have now, but remote job when you don't have anything else going on because it's COVID. You don't have anything you're like working towards. I was like, life literally has no meaning. Like,
yeah.
And I got really existential. I got really like the idea that all of the people I know in my life, all they do is like work for the man. Like every day I was like, this is crazy. Like I just got really, I also started going on Hinge dates because that group of friends was very Hinge date motivated.
I love how you're like, it's the end of the world. Like everything's falling around you and you're like,
time to go on Hinge.
And Hinge dates.
Dating's something I'm really good at, as we've established throughout this episode.
He's like, I want to come over. He's like, you're like, is he flirting with me? Yeah. So, okay. So you felt like and this is the friend influence, right? Where it's like, all my friends are on Hinge. Yes. I should be on Hinge. And like, this is what I should be doing.
And I, at the time, still wanted to, stand-up had always been in the back of my mind. But I was like not going to start during COVID. I know a lot of people did like Zoom comedy. I simply just not brave enough. That's not
the worst time of my life.
Yeah, brave. I'm not brave like you.
Oh, God.
I waited until 2022, but I let myself get really sad. And there was like a year where I was kind of just like, I know I was being really negative. Like I know I would be like, I would say really negative things mostly about myself. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of people, my roommate at the time was one of my best friends. Like she, I think, took a lot of what I said personally. Like I remember saying stuff like, she was like, you are unhappy because you're not successful. Like when we finally because what ended up happening was after 2 years, she like really abruptly was like, I'm actually moving out. And it was like gonna fuck me over lease wise because she said she was gonna stay.
How much notice did she give you?
She gave us enough that like we were able to work it out. Okay. And like, ultimately the notice was fine. It was more that just like came out of nowhere, and we were like, we were moving in with this like other set of random girls. It's so weird, which is like totally her right. Yeah. I think the way she handled it was not good.
Yeah.
And I did not react well. I was like, because she was basically like, I've secretly hated living with you for the last like year. Sure. And it's also one of those things where you're like, if I had known that you were interpreting what I was saying this way, or that what I was doing was making you feel this way, I really would hope that I would have course corrected earlier. Sure. But I had no idea that, this was coming off. Yeah. This, like, I would say stuff. She was like, you're not happy because you're not successful. I remember there was one day where I was in this like running club briefly. And I remember there was one day where I was just like not in a good mood. And I was like, you feel like you can show your like worst self to your best friends. Mm-hmm. So I said to her, I was kind of like, yeah, honestly, I just like don't really want to go today and be around like, it's going to be all these like really girls who are like skinnier and faster than me. And like, I don't want to be around that today. And like, that's not my best self saying that. Yeah. But that's a valid thing to say to your friend. You can
share that. Yeah.
That's and shareable. Like, and if that's something that's she would interpret stuff like that was cited in our like big fight as like, you hate girls who are skinny. And it's like, okay.
Oh, see that? But that's kind of taking what you're saying out of context and putting it, was this person skinny?
Yes.
Or, okay. So it's like, yeah, she maybe identifies with that group of women.
Totally.
And then,
but it's like, oh my God, that was not about you at all.